Good morning, everybody. This is Dee Reinhardt with Illinois WorkNet. Today we have Olivia on the call. I don't think she's got much to say, but she might pipe in with a couple of comments here. We do have a short agenda, but we do have some things to cover with everybody. So the first thing that I would like to do is go over the numbers that we have. So if you are on the call and have not yet checked into by region, please do that before I cover it up. And so now I'm going to pull this down. Well, I won't cover up the comments here. Oh, I forgot to change the date at the top, but I did these this morning about 7:30 a.m., so I will change that in the notes when they come out. But we have Cal Park. You've got quite a few people on the list that need to be scheduled for an appointment, as does Humboldt Park and Uptown. So Uptown and special units are together, correct? So there's 8 of them between the 2 of those offices. And Pam, there's that number that I was talking about. Rockford has 9 to schedule, but right now we are on hold with them. And then otherwise people have 2s, 3s, and 4s. Mid-South, you got 6 in there. I missed that one. So if you can take care of that, that would be great. We've got a number of people that did not show up for their initial CBO appointment. Because those numbers are relevant to the date when they didn't show up, we need those taken care of pretty quickly. So if you can take care of those numbers, that would be great. There are some referrals rejected, but they are all handled, so I don't have anybody that needs to take care of anything right now. And Erica, let's talk after the call. I was planning on talking to you today sometime anyway. So let's call me on my home office number after we're done. No longer appropriate for service. There are only 2 customers. So if you at Englewood and Uptown could take care of those, that would be great. Deidre, anybody that's in referral rejected is already handled. That's why I don't have anybody on that list. Recommend sanction, we have some numbers in there. East St. Louis, you've got 5. You've got 5 down there, so please take care of those customers. Otherwise, there's just 1s and 2s. Okay, so that's it on the numbers. We'll pull this down again. Okay, so one of the things that we want to talk about next is the exempt after being reengaged. We've had a couple of customers who have, while they were on their sanction, they may have aged out, or they may have had a medical condition making them exempt, or they may have gotten a job that makes them exempt. So what we did was we came up with a way for you guys to mark the customer, and it's a 1-step process, and then if something needs to be done to close them out of Epic, then it's the CBO will take care of that. So let me show you that. I'm going to pull my screen up. And on the screen right now, if you can see my screen, please raise your hand with the little man at the top of the screen. Yay. Okay. So now what we're going to do here is, this is RioCar. And RioCar was marked as ready for reengagement, and I marked this customer as SNAP eligible, exempt, and no longer wants to participate. That's the new status, and it can only be accessed if the customer has been scheduled for reengagement. So that will now be, I've been working with Cody this week, and we should have this up and available by Monday. So now let me show you how I got there. I am going to go find Rose Flowers in my list of customers. I'm going to go to her progress page. Now, she was marked as SNAP ineligible. Deidre and her team will be going in and marking them as customer is SNAP eligible and being reengaged. So when you get to the customer, you will see this status. Now, you've talked to the customer, you found out that they are now over the age limit and are exempt, and they just don't want to volunteer to participate. Or they're working and they're exempt, and they don't want to go through any additional training to improve their job skills or their knowledge about a job to help them progress up the career pathway. Or they have some medical condition that prevents them from working, and so now they are exempt as well. So what you would do when you are meeting with this customer is you would update the SNAP eligibility status to customer, I don't see it here. Let me close out of them and go back because I just changed it. So I'm going to refresh this screen. So now the new status would be SNAP eligible, exempt, and no longer wants to participate. This becomes a red status, and Cody is working on requiring a mandatory case note because we want to know why they no longer want to participate. What is the actual reason? So a case note will pop up here when we get to production, and you'll just put in customer is working and is exempt and doesn't want to participate, they're aged out, whatever the actual reason is that they're exempt and no longer want to volunteer to improve their career pathway skills. And then you can just move on with the customer, because if they had been enrolled in the past or engaged in the past, their status will move them to the line that requires the CBO to take action. Okay, do we have any questions about that? All right, we are updating, or I am in the process of updating the instructions. Those instructions will be included in the minutes and notes for the section for where we are putting the webinar updates. Deidre, I hope that this is ready on Monday, like I said when I was talking about it, and we hope that we can have it all ready to go and get it pushed out, and then I can test it over the weekend to make sure that there aren't any glitches. You can, Deidre, your team might be able to go back and check some of these people that you just recently marked and be able to change their status to this as well. I know there were just a couple recently that we had talked about with you about this. Okay. Last but not least on our agenda, unless anybody else has anything else that they need us to answer for them, there are some CBOs that are closing their doors. Rock River Training, as of January 31st, Rock River Training out in Region 2 decided that they no longer were going to extend their grant, so they are done. We are working with a local WIOA provider to see if we can get some customers reengaged with that. So we are working on trying to help you guys out there out in Rockford. The other agency that is closing is Southland Healthcare Forum. They have lost their space because the hospital that they are affiliated with is going to be taking over their physical space. So they don't have enough customers to try to find a new space, so they are going to be closing their doors as well. If the programs are no longer available, they will be taken out of the eligibility so that you cannot reassign a customer to an organization who is not going to be offering programs. So if you are trying to assign them to Southland, it's not going to work. Several of the other agencies have decided to add CNA programs, which is what Southland was offering. So I believe we talked to 4 of the southern agencies in Cook County, and they are going to be adding a CNA program to their offerings. All right, that's it for me. We have a very low attendance today, so if there is something that people from your offices in your region need to know, we would appreciate you sharing it with your staff and making sure that everybody gets the news about what's going on here, especially with the agencies closing and this new status that's available. So, thank you very much for your time. I see Erica typing. I'll wait to see if it's a question for us. And then otherwise, April 25th, oh, I'm sorry, the 20th. I apologize. 20th, sorry. 20th is our next meeting, and we will see you then. If we have any other additional updates, we will send out messages to everybody. Thanks. Have a wonderful weekend, and happy April.